Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Harlem episode of Vine Panther Presents. As we shall be discussing Godfather of Harlem. We're talking about season 3, episode 4. We got Malcolm still in Africa doing Africa stuff. And we got Bumpy doing bumpy drug stuff. And Stella just trying to get her groove back. I don't know what's going on with that. Shut up, David. All right, let's do it. Let's go with Kim, what did you think of this week's episode?
I mean, it was interesting, to say the least. Again, we still have the same plot going against Italians. That hasn't changed. I guess that's just going to be how it's going to be every single week. So I guess I got to get used to it, I guess. I'm hoping they will get another season. I love Forrest Whitaker. I do. I love all the actors, but this show is not really doing it for me. But anywho, to me, it didn't push the needle. It didn't. I mean, Stella now all of a sudden likes Columbo, so she didn't tell on him. I was like why? But I'm thinking more she's gonna use him to her advantage.
Yeah.
Somehow. Yeah.
She didn't fall for this man. But she has a plan.
No, I don't think she's in love with him, but I think that she is like, I'm not going to tell on him because I'm going to use him. You know what I mean? Yes. Yeah. So yeah. I wouldn't. Stella is not into vanilla. She likes the chocolate. So, but she does. But So I don't know. I just kind of was like, I wasn't overwhelmed with it. I was just like, it was okay. It's an okay episode. Yeah.
Sometimes you have those. Maybe 5 would be better. I doubt it since we don't get previews. We don't know what's gonna happen. Let's go with that. Let's go with Chris. Chris, what did you think of this week's episode?
Yeah, this was I found this very lackluster as well. To be honest, kind of found the majority of the season that, to be honest, love Forrest, but the show, it's the plot. The plot just kind of goes in the same direction, and I feel like they're being really lazy with this by just throwing a bunch of historical characters in there, like a Joe Colombo. And now we got Che Guevara. I just feel like this is just their way of like, oh, remember this guy? Like I was just saying off camera that maybe I had Neil Armstrong or Buzz Aldrin, maybe, you know what I mean? So and Bumpy will sell some drugs to help NASA to launch them onto a moon, and then maybe Joe Colombo will actually find out that it was actually filmed in a studio or some shit like that. I don't know. Who knows, man? Damn it. God damn it. I'm still wondering why we're not getting more of the whole idea of Stella's mom not trying to kill her. I don't know. I kind of, even though I knew that she wasn't going to really get away with it, at least I kind of brought some tension and, more bodies was going to hit the floor. You know what I mean? Shout out to Drowning Pool. But yeah, I just thought we're going to get something like that. And then we're just getting all these, I don't know, mostly what I think is unnecessary scenes. Yeah, like Malcolm getting poisoned. I'm just over here sitting there. It's like what you ever watch like those shows or movies or whatnot where they have like angels in it, like they'll have an angel in there and someone like looks like they're about to die, and then they reach over, it's like, it's not your time yet. And then there's like that's what this was. I was just like want to reach over, like, you're going, but
not
this
today.
Is not it. Not today. like that's what this was.
There's no tension. There's no tension if you know
man.
If you know anything about these characters, like they're gonna be.
And that's
right.
What I was telling you is that the danger of having so many historical characters in one show is that when it comes to writers, is that they're restricted by their timeline, right? I'm not necessarily saying, yes, as far as like the death, them being killed off, obviously that's one component, but certain significant events, you could say, oh, can't really do that because historically that's not what happened. Like, can't really have Malcolm X actually catching a body or so because that's not what Malcolm does. You know what I mean? It's like all kinds of stuff like that. You know, it's just like there's nothing really. And I think because they keep adding so many more characters every episode, it seems, is that it just kind of makes a story somewhat stale when they tell it, and all we have is just Bumpy going against the Italians again. And I don't know. I just hope they do it. Just like we were joking off camera about the whole Joe Colombo and Stella, and saying how Joe needs to watch out because because she's the Black Widow, but if Columbo, that's not how it ends for him. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just want to change, man. I just want, because the actors I think are great in this. I think pretty much every single actor in this, I can't think of one that's actually bad. I think they're all great. But it's the story that's lacking so much, and yeah, I don't know. I need them to kind of work on it a little bit more. Personal opinion, though. So
we're all personal opinions, but thank you, but thank you for yours. Stacy, thoughts? We cannot.
I'm tired of Bumpy. I know this is his show, but he makes bad decisions, like constantly. But he want to be like, I'm the king of Harlem, and it's like, you're fucking up, sir. I still like the show, but it's getting irritating. Like, he's getting irritating. I don't mind the historical characters because half of them I don't know anyway, so it's kind of interesting. But Bumpy's getting on my nerves. The end.
All right, thank you for the red cup too. We appreciate that. Jamani, please. Orange cup. We got a cookout going on. I gotta go get my cup. I was like, all right. Jamani, what you got?
Where do I start?
Please explain. First, you're gonna start with your background. That's what you're gonna do. So explain why Forrest Gump is behind you, please.
Bumpy Gump. Like this is.
I like it.
He's basically.
I like it.
He's basically Forrest Gump. He's just basically going through past events, and we're just inserting him in like Photoshop. It's just like why is everything in the orbit of Bumpy Johnson? Like everything in history is involving the 60s. It's just well within the orbit of Bumpy Johnson and his family. Whether like Malcolm can't even go to Africa without somebody from his household going with him. Like it's getting to be a little too ridiculous.
All right. So what do you think about this episode, please?
As far as Stella goes, let's start off with that. I'm trying to make sense of nonsense. So like I guess this is just a future rewrite, I guess you'd say, because obviously it probably won't go there. But I'm hoping that she's saying, I want to go to France. And the Fed's like, well, we don't usually do that, but we'll try to work something out for you. But that's not good enough. Right. So she hears from Joe, he's coming in from France. Is she gonna try to hitch a ride back with old boy? That's why she didn't get the stuff on tape. Or well, she got the stuff on tape, but she,
messed it up. She messed it up. All right.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see if she has some sort of plan on a trip back. Like, I'm not gonna mess any of this up so that this guy gets arrested and all this other type of stuff. I want to be able to hitch a ride back on
the Doogie Express. Back to France.
Or wherever this guy is going. Let me see if he will protect me, or I can get in good with him, or something, some sort of way that she can escape to France where she really wants to go. That's what I'm thinking, but this is this show, so I don't really have a lot of high hopes for that. But I see Joe Colombo being like a little fly buzzing around, and he just got caught in that web with that eggplant, and just like he's like doesn't know that the Black Widow is just
The
coming
Black
back.
Widow history.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm like, and she's more or less telling it all to him, and he's just like, nah.
I feel like I'm watching a Tyler Perry character when someone's like, you know, there's danger around you, right? Oh, you so crazy. No, for real. Like every man that tries
Whoopi
to get with me
Goldberg
is
is in this show. Is she gonna go? You know, you in danger, Joe.
silly. And he's like, nah, baby, I got this, and I got us, because everybody loves some Stella. I don't know.
I'm like,
Oh, I just got that reference there, Jamani. I just got the reference. It took me a minute, but that was good. That was a good Ghost reference that you just did. I like that.
I'm trying to figure out.
Okay, I missed it. What was it?
So you in danger, girl. Remember,
Molly,
she's
you
like,
in
you in
danger,
danger,
girl.
Yeah. When she was like doing her psychic stuff, she's like, "Ooh, you."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Ghost. Okay, got it. All right, check. All right.
Yeah. No, yeah, not Power Ghost. It's like the real good one.
Yeah.
He said the real good one.
The Oscar-winning one.
The Oscar
winning one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jamani, please.
What? Okay, so we saw last week's episode, right? They didn't even put an episode in between last week's episode and this episode, right? They failed so bad, so miserably. And then he says, I want you to go and kidnap 2 cops. The same 2 guys. In what planet does that happen?
All right. This is where the fantastical kicks in, because that really don't make a lot of sense. But especially they just arrested him and then they conveniently just quit. They get kidnapped by some black men in the 60s, and somehow they don't think they got enough juice to just find these black men and murder them. They're like, no, we got to quit off camera, and they sign confessions that are somehow legally binding. I'm like, this doesn't make any kind of damn sense. To your point,
I don't know. He had all the paperwork. I don't know if he killed them afterwards or whatever, because there was just no shortage on cop killing in this episode. Joe Colombo has cops in his trunk and whatnot. So in this universe, cop killing can just be part of doing business. My point is you have that lack of a talent pool. They film in New York. What is it, in Brooklyn and Harlem? The different sets are, and you couldn't find anybody else like to give a promotion to and sit those characters down. You have to use the same ones, and you give them an upgrade. They messed up a lower mission. Now, okay, now you get to go and kidnap some cops for me.
oh, I know where you were going with this. You're talking about Bumpy's henchmen, like the 2 henchmen fucked up. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? You talking about the 2 henchmen from last week fuck up, so then they're hired to kidnap 2 cops when they couldn't even kill a civilian reporter. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, you need to be specific, because I thought you were talking about the cops. I was like, what are you talking about? Like the cops weren't even in last week's episode, were they? I was like, I'm confused. I get you. He should have more henchmen that he could go get someone else to handle the cop thing. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm like,
got it.
But he's like every other show.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't understand how you can be gangsters and you have 2 people.
2 dudes.
Or 3.
Hey, Jimmy only has 1 when we get to Your Honor.
But you know what? The only show that I've seen that has a normal amount of henchmen is Mayor of Kingston with the black drug dealer. He's got like 8, 9, 10 guys.
They sit, yes, but
it doesn't matter. He's still got
or Fargo.
They're still there.
Fargo.
They're still there.
They're still physically there to generally be fodder if necessary. To your
exactly.
Point. But like, yeah, you. Okay, Giovanni. Now we're on. Got it. Okay, so they need more people. He needs a bigger bench of henchmen.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't understand why he thinks he's so like superior. Like in the beginning opening scene, I'm like, they're like, the cops come in. It's clearly cops. It's not like poser people pretending or anything. These are legit cops. They're like, get on the floor, and he stands up. He gets out of his chair, stands up, and doesn't get down. I'm like, you trying to get shot? Like,
that's pretty consistent with black people, though. I mean, that's even now. I mean, so for some reason we have a tendency to be like, "Fuck you," and then that don't work out. But he's fighting depression. Also, like, this is a very big thing of Bumpy being the example of a black man fighting the white man's oppression when he's just a criminal trying not to be arrested. But that's why they keep on comparing his struggle in Harlem with fucking Malcolm X trying to free us from the white man. Like, these are not the same struggles, but they're trying to compare the two. And one of them is going to get assassinated. But they're trying to compare it to is why they, yeah.
But I'm like, we don't have a black president. Like Bumpy has a black police captain he's bumping heads with, so to say, in that particular time period that we're in. So I'm like, that is the part where I'm like, yeah, you're not really making whatever point that you're trying to make about the oppression as far as the show goes. Like you're making it. You're making him seem unsympathetic the more I watch. Like the black police captain and all that type of stuff. Oh yeah, he's on the payroll. And he's on the payroll.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've been around a lot of cops. Like I went to school for this. All like it. This like as he said, you get to a certain point, you have to do certain things so that you're
alive.
It's still functioning. Yeah, like you will call for backup and nobody will come because I can't trust you. Like it's and like
especially in this time, especially talking about like this particular time. So this I would say it probably is relevant to there. I did like the idea that he was on the take because I was looking at him like, oh, he's trying to be like a pillar of truth and justice and ethics or whatever. And then to find out he's also a snitch too, I'm like, all right, so that kind of tracks. But now Bumpy somehow controls all of them because he has a list with their names on it. Like this black cop can't just send the rest of his cops to murder him and all his friends since he only has 2 henchmen and get those lists and be done with this shit. Like, this is not a threat, sir. Like, I can easily have you murdered. Like, so I'm not sure how he has the upper hand because he has a piece of paper that he could have wrote himself.
I'm like I don't see how he made it out of the police station.
I don't get that either. Like he easily could have been beat up and just had an accident. But it's a TV show. It's a TV show. I thought at least being in Egypt, with Malcolm, we did I speculated that maybe perhaps there's gonna be a love interest going on here. Don't look like it right now, but I still have hope. I still have hope because I'm like, this easily could have been his wife. Like, at least does not have to be here. Instead, they're trying to force her into this show for no damn reason. Like, she's serving no purpose. That's who she is. I didn't get that.
I feel like they're doing. Huh? You said the contract.
I said she might be under contract. She might got to be in.
Oh, she got to be a certain amount of episodes. Yeah. That could be it.
I also think that if she was back home, they would probably most likely have to just kind of write it where she's like having her daughter, which if you've seen her daughter lately, like she was on some interview or whatever, like the girl was named Tiffany, whatever. Like, was she supposed to be like underage still? Like, she tall as fuck, man. Like she got a growth spurt all of a sudden. Yeah. They need to, I hate to just say it, either recast her or just don't show her for like another 2 years.
Well, that's
like, or keep her seated down. That's right. You just say keep her seated. Keep her seated.
Jamadi said that. He kept her arms crossed so you wouldn't see that. They both could be off camera down south until the stuff blows over. Like she's not bringing anything to the table. I thought there was gonna be some love tension, but that didn't happen. Malcolm's speech. I was wondering why they showed the actor because usually they show the actual footage of like the real Malcolm when they're doing that kind of shit. And I was like, why are they showing the actor? And that's because that wasn't a speech. Like, he never actually said that. That was a memorandum that he wrote to the African leaders, but they made it into a speech. And I was like, all right. So I was like,
but he did get poisoned.
He did. So I know the J got poisoned. So that was at least legit. But they're trying to give the idea that's the CIA, that's going to be, I guess, ultimately going to kill him. I guess since like they're starting that process that the CIA is worried about him instead of they don't want the Nation of Islam to be the ones that kill him.
There's a documentary about that where they did let out the guys who did kill him, but there is a thing that the CIA was behind it.
So it could be like,
that they hired him, that they were hired by the CIA to do this to him, to kill him.
That is a long Netflix documentary. I think that's like a 10-hour.
Yeah, it's long, but I mean, it's interesting. It was a good documentary. It was very interesting.
In the words of Bill, the government is a bunch of Nazis.
We will get to that review soon. That was behind me. My thumbnail is actually made up when I was doing some history on research on Malcolm in the continent of Africa. He actually apparently ran into Maya Angelou in Ghana, and I was like,
I was wondering who that was. Okay, that's Maya Angelou. Okay.
So that could be in the series, like to be like, oh, like he met Maya Angelou, like that's
goodness.
real. Like
please,
that happened.
no more historical characters. Please, no. Please
I'm not
stop
asking
it.
for a whole like season on this woman, but I'm like, instead of having a list,
that's what it would turn into, though. That's what it would turn into.
Of all the stuff they're just making up, that would be an actual. Since Martin Luther King apparently doesn't exist in this universe for some reason. Like for him to meet Maya Angelou,
nah, because this is a crime stuff, and it seems like the historical people they're keeping in are at least like crime related. So I at least respect that aspect. But Martin Luther King will probably bring it down. Let's be real. Martin Luther King will comment pretty down because he's gonna try to give everyone pep talks, and we're like, "No, man, we want violence, nigga." Like, it's just like, yeah, man.
It's good.
It'd be like the Boondocks episodes. Like he's like, "Oh, y'all just want to be a bunch of niggas." Like, yeah,
Chris, that's not the message, Chris. That's not the message we should be.
It is. That's why we're reviewing this show. Why else are we reviewing this show?
Oh, he did meet with Che Guevara.
Yeah, and guess what? That dude was popping up guns himself. He was a rebellious leader with guns, like talking about taking down. Like, yeah, I mean, he was more of a good guy.
It says Malcolm X met with Che during his visit to United Nations in December 1964.
Yeah, because because the whole point of his trip was he wanted one of the African leaders to bring the issue of racism in America to the UN to make it an international issue. Just like apartheid in South Africa became an international problem, and America was like, fuck all that, because now you're ruining our reputation as being a Western leader of human rights and stuff like that. Like they could have really got into that, like the actual historical stuff, since they're tracking his life anyway. Maya Angelou would have been nice. I'm just saying they do a lot of like.
We need someone with violence, like even when you do historical characters, think of like Ali. We saw Ali, and guess what? We followed up with him knocking some nigga out, like in a boxing ring. Like, unless you tell me that now I know Maya had some horrible stuff with her growing up or whatnot. Man. That's why we ain't gonna get Maya. We ain't getting no Harry Belafonte. We ain't getting none of these niggas because they too much like, oh, I'm pacifist. Nah, we want the violence. Give us violence.
You get more for violent than Che, whatever his last name is.
Yeah. So I'm saying he was sitting there with a cigar acting. I'm like, so. In passing,
oh, just wait.
We'll see, man. We'll see. I was like, you know what? There's some historical, like, especially women, like more women they could put in here. I would rather see Maya Angelou than Elise, because Elise ain't bringing shit.
To your point, I feel like they should introduce what's her name with the Black Panthers? That one of the first
Angela
Davis?
No, not Angela. Nah, because Angela's another one. Whereas no, we need the ones that actually wind up actually trying to get homegirl out of Cuba, like with like trying to like take out the cop. That's what we need. We need someone that's like all about like being some head busters. You know what I mean? Like we need some head busters.
Chris, sometimes
where the Shakur is at?
The Shakur, oh my goodness. So we're going to have Shakur like be pregnant in prison or something.
Well, that's later down the road, but I'm like, you know,
it's not just Tupac and his mother. There's a bunch of them.
Well, no, I think he said it because I said the whole Black Panther thing. I think that's why. He brought
well, yeah, because I know that they did that armed truck robbery and stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of robberies, so that has not come back. Like he robbed the fucking Bank of Harlem or the Federal Reserve,
killed a guy,
and killed the black man, and none of that has been brought up. They just said fuck it. Powell has not brought that up to how that's hurting the movement. Like I thought that was going to be something. Joe Colombo doesn't ask questions, Mr. Detective, about how fucking Stella has all this inside information from her father, when like the only time he was able to hear anything from the father was through the lawyer, which we haven't seen since that one episode. And he's like, yeah, you must be talking directly to your dad. That doesn't make any damn sense, but let's just go with this. I was like, what are we doing?
Well, could it be that because she's family and Joe Colombo is clearly not his family? Maybe that's how she's getting in there, because she's his daughter.
Well, Well, that would imply that she's going to visit, but I'm like, you don't see that.
Columbo is a gangster, so maybe they're
Yeah.
restricting him from having other gangsters come see him.
I mean, but kind of like what David kind of alluded to, like it's one of those things. Like, yes, that's his daughter and all, but that's still the person that put him in jail. Which means, I'm sorry, like daughter or not, if you put me in jail, you think I'm going to trust you with like certain information like that? No. So why? So if I was Joe Colombo, that's I don't give a damn.
But Joe Colombo didn't give her any information. He said the guy's coming in a few days, and then we're gonna do something, and then it's gonna be in some car parts. He didn't give her any specifics at all. That tape, if she had actually given it to the FBI agent, it would have been okay. Give me some more information. We'll be waiting and seeing.
No, they would have raided his car.
Yes. What the fuck you talking about?
But I was going to say, Jamani,
it hasn't come in yet.
They would have tracked the cars.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if I know exactly the tool they're going to use to transport it, I just wait for the fucking car parts to come in. I mean, that's pretty damning evidence. And if it's going to come to the chop shop, I just got to wait for the cars to show up. So that's pretty sensitive information. I mean,
yeah, I'm saying you don't know when he's getting car parts all the time, right? You don't know when to blow your hand when
they know
the
when
actual load is coming in. That's what I'm saying.
They know when the drugs are coming in, right? So they're just gonna put it probably rated around that, or they'll just watch them.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 24 hours, like almost like
surveillance.
Like you have a cop waiting out there. You switch out shifts. Man, when they're really trying to wait for a bus, they will wait like days and weeks, like
days and days and days.
Especially if they think they're going to get a lot.
The same two people, they'll rotate them out.
Yep.
Not like Brian and that chick. I mean, it's ridiculous on.
No, but I'm just going back to like the 60s, and I'm like, I don't think
they didn't
have a lot of
ain't nothing changed back then.
Technology back then. So I'm like, I think there was a lot.
So that's why they would tell you, because they don't really have a lot of technology. So they would put cops on you, and then they actually would rotate you out. Yeah, which is what's normal. Yeah.
Yeah, Jamani, to your point, that's why like when they developed the whole surveillance things where they're able to put like light bulbs and stuff, like not that big of a thing we saw in this episode or whatnot, it alleviated people to just do that and they could just wait in a freaking van like across the street or something, you know what I mean? Or something, you know. They didn't have that in the 60s, so they had to wait. They had to like tail them. They had to tail them and just like Kim said, they just rotated them out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Rotated, so.
And if she just says real quickly, I went to the feds, right? Like I just snitched on my family, on the man you are basing your power on, and somehow he's like, then all of a sudden Joe is like, well, you must have did it because you were upset, right? And you were feeling grief. Like
it's because of this. It's because
right?
of this.
I mean, he's gotta be like, you know what? I had a good meal and you are fine as fuck. So I just gotta tell myself that you didn't want to do it, you just had to do it. I'm like, he cannot be this stupid.
I think he's gonna dot his I's and cross his T's. I think he's gonna let her think that he's going along with it, and at the last second he will have, been checking up on her and stuff. Because I'm like, she didn't have a second gynecological appointment. She's out in the middle of the park playing a whole recording, whether it played or didn't play. But why are you there playing?
That's what I think. I think that too, Jamani, because she played her hand when she told Columbo what she did to her dad. So when you tell someone that you can portray your own dad, right, your father, who is paying me money to protect you, even though you betrayed him, I don't trust you. So when he came over the house, he said what he said, but it's probably not true, right? Because he said it too fast and too kind of, you know what I mean? Like it just all came out.
Yeah, that's all right.
And I was like, that was too easy. That was really too easy. He's setting her up. He probably has somebody watching her, even though she thinks they're not. They probably are watching her meet with the guy in the park, right? The DA. And then what she said, or even if she does tell, or she uses this information, it's not the right information. I absolutely lied to her.
See, I hope we should have saw the tail. Like I would have liked to see the tail. So I don't think Joe is this stupid, because at this point I'm like, he's just working real hard to get the draws, and I'm like, this don't make any sense. Like, so I'm hoping it was the tail, and then she didn't think it was kind of weird that in his mind, she went from F you, I'm tired of this, I want to go to Paris, to, hey, you want to have a home cooked dinner and maybe some of me? And he's like, yeah, this totally makes sense.
When did she start cooking?
I don't even know. Wait a minute, she was cooking when she almost got murdered.
She was slicing some tomatoes. That ain't cooking.
I don't know. I don't know. Also, she was ungrateful as fuck though. He was right to be like, bitch, like I really should choke shit at you right now. Because she was like, I want a job and I want to do something and I'm tired of being here. Like, you shut the hell up and be happy you're still alive. Because again, he still never asked the question, who tried to kill you specifically, and why hasn't he told her mother that she's alive? Like, this conversation still not happened. Like, I don't understand why he has, and where's the mama? As Chris pointed out, the mom should be freaking out right now. To be like, if she talks, then they're gonna come after me because I tried to kill the daughter, or find somebody else to kill this dude. And the old dude, right? He's the one that hired the henchman, right? The old guy with the glasses.
Yeah, the one through the through the mother. Yeah, it was like, yeah, when she met him at church, I think.
Yeah. So like, he should be like, where is this bitch and why is she still alive?
And
Like,
the stepmother is joining Power Book too.
she is.
I'm joking.
Oh, I was like, damn.
Oh wow!
She's gonna go ahead and get her job back.
I thought that was legit.
I
thought maybe that's why we didn't see
she
her.
was on there in the beginning.
She was on the first Power. So
Yeah.
I mean, she may be. We don't know.
She got demoted, and now she's coming back on Michael.
That's it. Yeah,
She's gonna be Michael Ealy's boss in season 4.
it's another task force.
Yes,
She was
take
down
the Tejadas because they're
That's
so
it.
dangerous. Actually, it's gonna be a takedown Tariq.
Yo,
by
let me
himself.
guess. She's gonna be in the task force with her, and then they're gonna bring Rosie Perez from.
No, please, God,
Your Honor.
please.
But
Oh, my
your-
God, please. Oh, I can't wait till we talk about that.
Yeah,
show.
we gotta.
It's
so-
like watching paint dry. I'm like, what is happening
The fuck
here?
we doing with this? Anyway, we are getting off track.
Anyway,
All right, so
yes.
anyway, we need to find out that Joe's not an idiot. Okay, that he knows that Stella is full of shit. All right, and he's tracking that, and he's gonna. I can tell he's gonna get the ass first, and then he's gonna find out, and he's gonna be like, "Girl, you trifling, and I got you."
And then she's gonna be like, "I'm pregnant."
Oh, she's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm sorry because you didn't pull out." That could be a thing. Chris. Let's go with that. Malcolm will easily be dead before the season's over. So let's just do RIP to that.
Well, at least be pregnant.
Now I'm gonna let that go. I'm gonna let that go. Y'all make me feel bad about it. So if they're still in Africa,
I'm about to say, man, this Black History Month, man. Come on, man. Put some respect on his name.
Look. Maybe I try. Like, if she tries, like I will settle for a good hug that's inappropriate. Like maybe not say I'll go for a good hug that's inappropriate.
And then his hands kind of roam down.
Just I ain't talking about Charles. I mean, Charles took it to a new level. I'm just saying, like, hey, you a good man, Malcolm. And she's like, you a good. I was like, that was just so.
Was it Peanuts talking about something like, you a good man, Charlie Brown? Like,
I was
what
like,
is it?
oh, that's good. I don't know, something. I'm still holding out hope for that. Jose,
did you know that Malcolm X's grandfather was white?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's how I got to. I don't know.
Because he has
His
ginger
mother
hair.
was very fair
Yeah.
skinned. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you got the ginger hair.
So
Okay, cool.
we got that. So I don't know. Jose, I really don't give a fuck, to be honest. Like, I'm not sure what he's doing.
My Jose battle.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what he's bringing to the table at this point.
I'm like,
Chills.
that's what should have happened. It shouldn't have been, I'm going to get my 2 henchmen. It should have been, Jose Babel, you're my muscle now. I did you the favor. You go and get these cops for me now.
Yes. That you're right, Jamani. You're right. Because he wouldn't have saw that. Those cops wouldn't have saw that coming. They assaulted a black gangster, so they should be looking for black gangsters to come after them. That kind of makes that would make sense. But Latinos show up, they may be like, oh, I didn't see this coming. So I'm like, that's a good point. That's a good point. Because right now he's just doing nothing. But drinking sodas and the.
I'm like, yeah.
The
I'm
hose.
like, if you have problems with cops and you bring them to my establishment to beat them up, I'm like, what in the hell this got to do with me?
Also true, Jamon. That's another.
Well,
good
Jose
point.
Battle owes him for him killing the reporter.
But then, like he said, that it should have been his people going to go get them and bring them back. But now all of a sudden, you just bring these people to my place. No, you kidnapped them. You beat them in front of Oprah Winfrey and work that shit out. Like I was like,
Oprah Winfrey.
Oprah Winfrey's in the show. I'm sorry.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg.
I'm about to say, when did Oprah join the show?
My fault.
What is going on?
My
Wow.
I was thinking about
Wow.
Color Purple.
All
I'm sorry.
Color
It all
Purple
got mixed
people
up.
look
hell
alike.
no.
All black women look alike.
Oh,
sorry.
hell no.
It's Black History Month. I'm gonna watch Color Purple.
Am I
Oh my
Oprah
God,
sister?
Dave.
If I'm Oprah sister, I need to know.
If I get a car, you can be whoever you want. I was
David,
like,
if you get a lot of unlikes on this one, I think I know why.
I was,
Oh.
I was like, my bad. Well, I mean, Whoopi just haven't done much. She hasn't done much. I don't know what she's supposed to be doing.
Whoopi is currently
yeah, because
on
Oprah's been in a
Harlem.
lot of movies right now. Is that
She's
what
on
you're
Harlem.
saying?
Oh, you watching Harlem?
I watched the two episodes that dropped. Yep, she's on Harlem.
Oh, they're doing the weekly thing.
Yes.
Oh shit!
Ew.
Really? Oh, no.
Why would they do that? Just put everyone out their misery and just drop them all out.
Yeah.
There are people who actually like the show.
What did you think, Kim? I'm sorry. What did you think?
I mean, to me, it was the same of the same. I mean, Angie. Oh
Is
my
that
God,
good?
y'all. Angie is just call her a prostitute. The dark skinned one,
Yeah,
the
we
loud
know.
dark skinned one. Jesus Christ, she had sex with like 3 men in one episode.
She's not.
Why?
I don't want to sound bad when I say this. Never mind.
No, but it's true. It's like, why are you
She's
portraying
good
the
looking.
heavy set dark skinned woman as a hooker? Like, what is wrong with these people?
Yo,
I know y'all can at least make her look fine. All right, whatever.
I mean, she's not an ugly girl. There's nothing wrong with this girl. I hate this the way that they're doing her. The other ones are just kind of typical to what they do with with these shows. But that one, oh my God, they're just literally slept with 3 men in one episode for unnecessarily.
take this to heart. Did they do the old girl hold up the anal beads to her ears like earrings?
Yes, she did all of that. And she's kind of a airhead. If remember from season 1, she's a little airheady.
She
Yeah.
had that great job, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she don't have a great job. She got family money. And
She's
got that boutique thing going on.
she's a trust fund baby.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the gay girl. I thought you meant the lesbian.
No, the
That's who
lesbian
I
took the light skinned trust fund chick to the
Oh, my
sex
bad.
room.
I was talking. Yeah, that's what I was talking. I was talking about the dark skinned lesbian, the tall.
That's
one.
okay.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
you
she got issues too.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
My bad.
Not the light skinned play lesbian because she
Yeah, because
That's right. I forgot you're right.
She got played. She got played. Let's
Oh
just say
really?
that.
Oh, by
Yeah, because she's not. The thing is, she's clingy. That's why men leave her, because she's clingy,
yeah.
and she falls in love too quickly. So the girl was like, "I'm out, peace."
How are these 4 friends? Like, I
Because
know.
they're
I
all
mean,
different. That's why they're friends.
no, this is some insecure insecure. At least they all had stuff related to them. They're just trying to be like insecure East Coast edition. Like that's.
Well, I'm telling you, people like the show. That's why I got renewed.
I say run the world and maybe girlfriends. Like I don't say insecure. Like because those are only 2 of them, right? Like you got to think more.
Living
like,
single.
huh?
Maybe
No,
living single.
living
I don't
single.
know.
It was equal number of men and women. So that I mean, so you look
True.
at you look at girlfriends or fucking.
No, there was not an equal number.
I would say
of men
Run
and
the
women.
World is closest to Harlem.
They are the same show.
Yeah.
4 black women in Harlem. Go. I mean,
Mhm.
it is the same. Anyway, that show, at least Stars was smart enough to bring that show back. Obviously, Godfather of Harlem.
No, but I thought Run the World was coming back.
They have, but that was supposed to be last year. Like they're a year off from their renewal. So I'm saying.
Oh, because all of those people are on different shows.
Hence, like the show really wasn't really about that. But I mean, anyway, we get off track. Point is, Godfather Harlem needs to get better. And we will see what
It's
happens.
not, but okay.
We'll try. Like, just get past the doogie. I do like Jamani's idea that maybe somehow Stella thinks she's gonna ride the French dude. She does like black penis, and he lives in France. So let's put those 2 things together.
And he'll probably do it.
Who would not do something for a white girl? He's like, you know what? I got my Italian
No,
princess.
most likely he's gay. I feel like he's gonna probably be gay.
Oh,
I don't
that's
know.
okay.
No,
So
I
you
just
can
think
say
he
that.
is.
No, okay,
No,
okay.
I just have a feeling. No, usually that's what they do with characters like that for some reason. I don't know why they do it like that, but as like they always do that. They always like make the quiet ones, the quiet secretive ones, gay. That's just what they always put them into. And Stars, right? No, Epic's worse. It's like they ain't. Oh no,
This
MGM.
is actually MGM Plus.
Sorry.
Even if he is gay, those just be bosom
I'm
buddies.
just joking,
Who cares?
but it is MGM.
Yeah.
And it says original series. I was like, wait, what?
Ain't none of, well, kinda, I guess.
No,
original.
Well, original
Kinda.
content.
This is on
Original
Epics.
content. Original content.
Yeah.
Well, they just rebought Epics. We're getting off track. All right. All right, guys. So thank you very much for watching. We will see. What's up, Giovanni?
I just want to say, this past week, I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen this show. It's Money and Violence. It came on YouTube. It was like a thing that was basically where they just ran around New York City with like cameras and filmed like basically a show like this, but it was a lot more gritty, more
Money and Violence.
Yeah.
Was it reality?
And drug dealing and
I hope not.
we call it like stick up kids and all that type of stuff. And they did it in maybe 2014, 2015. They just had like a reunion on YouTube this week. And the main guy, Raph, he was saying that he's actually a writer on this show now. And he's like, yeah, he doesn't run the show, he doesn't do anything, he just writes for the show. But
wait, for this show, Godfather Harlem?
correct.
Okay.
He says that he's and then like a staff writer for this show. And I'm like, I can see how some of the violence and how some of the certain things, like he was a guy who always gave that message in the show. So like whenever you hear like Bumpy Johnson say like one of his quotes or whatever, like for like a season or episode or something like that, is probably usually from him. He usually had like that whole like wisdom type of thing where he put it into like gangsterism and stuff like that. But I just wanted to like anybody who's out there who is a fan of Money and Violence, there's a connection between that show and this show.
Oh, okay.
Well, thank you, right? The more you know. So we'll move on to another show that's kind of not going anywhere. Your Honor. We'll do that in a little bit. Look, Kim's already said, but we're gonna do that real quick. See what's going on with that. Thank you guys very much for watching Money Matters. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next week, whether you like it or not.
Thank you, Taiwan, because you always show up. Thank you.
I was like, oh yes, we appreciate
Taiwan, yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, work on that translation. But we are getting
Anywho.
today's anyway. So we'll work all that out. We'll say thank you very much until next time.